Running body kick again.
Oh, everyone. Warrior's voice will be heard. Oh. That's right.
Yep, it is time again. It's Friday, 12 p.m. You already know what time it is. We are a little late today. Technical difficulties happen, but we're here. And it's the day after Thanksgiving. Nice and full. I hope everybody had a great holidays if you celebrate. And I hope my co-host had a great holiday. MMA Pickers won't be here today. He is traveling for the holidays right now. So shout out to him and safe travels to him. But I got my boy Mac Tyson with me. So you know it's gonna be a good show. Mac, how was your Thanksgiving? How you feeling? What's going on, baby?
It's good. Ate a lot of turkey. Broke my diet, so now I gotta get back into it. But that's what Thanksgiving is all about.
Yeah, I think Thanksgiving is the universal cheat day for everybody.
Yeah.
I don't care how disciplined you are. It's kind of hard to turn down that turkey and them good old pies that grandma be making.
Día del pavo.
Yeah. What did you guys? What kind of spread did y'all have?
It was pretty like traditional American, turkey, cranberry sauce, stuffing.
Yeah.
I went to the Italian American side, so it's usually pretty more American style.
Yeah. I like going to the Puerto Rican Thanksgivings too, though.
Oh yeah,
it's like a whole different ball game. It's a totally different ball game.
Puerto Rican Christmases are much different feel.
Yeah, I love both sides, and that's the beautiful thing about like being biracial. It's like I could go to one side and like I've experienced with them, and my mom's side, and then my dad's side is Puerto Rican, like experienced stuff with them, and it's like polar opposites.
Yeah, you get the best of both worlds when you're mixed.
100%, you get the best, bro. But yeah, man, we had like. I went to my aunt's house. She lives down in Fayetteville. Her and her husband on the army base out there. Because he's part of airborne. He does airborne. He jumps out of helicopters in the middle of the night. It's insane. I was like, I would never do that. My fear is falling to my death. So jumping out of a helicopter just ain't something I want to do. But we went down. Yeah. We went down there. Pretty chill. They had like regular stuff, regular American, ham, turkey, all of that stuff. Really good turkey too. And but they had a lot of pork. I don't eat pork, so that kind of throws me. Had like pork ribs. They had Swedish meatballs, which is one of my favorite things. I love meatballs. And then they had a ham, which is customary for Thanksgiving. But I just had like turkey, some good collards. My mom made some collards. She makes some good collards. I had some of those. Turkey. What else did I have? It was something. Oh, salmon. He smoked some salmon, which was really good. The salmon was really good. He smoked it on the he had just got a new smoker, so that was tasty. And then we all just hung out. We played Uno. My sister crashed out, flipped the whole table. Fucking hilarious. Fucking hilarious, bro. That's Uno for you, bro. Holidays, somebody's got. I think like 5 of us crashed out. Out of like 7, 5 of us crashed out when we started playing Uno. So that just shows you, bro. My household and my family is just as competitive as probably karate combat. Like we do not play, bro. We want to fucking win, man. So, but yeah, man, I'll shout out everybody who's here though and enjoy their holidays. Had a nice holiday. No, holidays sometimes can be very traumatic for some people.
Yeah, it can be tough.
Holidays it can be tough. Going home to your family can be tough at times, bro. Like everybody doesn't have the best relationship. And that's the time of year where everybody tries to come around and put those differences to the side. Sometimes it's tough. So if you made it through
that's why a lot of families don't allow talking about politics at the dinner table.
Which we almost got into. I had to stop myself like 8 times from going into it about politics with my nana, but we won't get into that. But yeah, hilarious. Exactly. It's the truth. Like a lot of times that has to be one of the avoidable things. It was a lot of times my aunt last night was like, stop, don't start. No. We all right. We got it. You got it. But enough about Turkey Day. But yeah, man, if you guys enjoyed it, I'm glad. If you didn't, man, I know times get hard sometimes, bro. Life's hard, but we got to keep pushing on. We got to keep moving. That's the better part about it. The silver lining is you woke up that day. And if you woke up today, that's an even better silver lining. So look at that in the bright side of things. But let's jump into this stuff, man. We start the show off with MMA news. I don't know if you have any breaking news or anything you want to talk about.
If I did, I would have left it for our special guest later.
Got it. Yeah. Speaking of that, we do have a very special guest later. We have the president of Karate Combat, my guy, President Awesome, coming by. He's going to talk about quite a few things. We got some stuff going on between Karate Combat and Dirty Boxing now. So fighting war on two fronts at this point. And quite a few other things coming up with like the events and stuff coming up. So we'll have him on later to talk and just to chop it up with him, see what's going on with Karate Combat, see what they got coming up. But speaking about Dirty Boxing and Karate Combat, have you had a chance to look into this at all, Mac Tyson?
Oh no, yeah, I saw the whole feud going on and like what's going on. It was a very dirty move that they played.
Yeah.
Book it is a red line that you don't cross. You don't book a fighter that is contractually signed exclusively to another fighter.
Yeah, 100%. It's like one of the golden rules. And like, dude, for context for people in the audience who don't know what we're talking about, let me see if I can get this up. Here we go. So if you check this out right here, let me do this. There we go. If you check this out right here, and this is Only Larpin, shout out Only Larpin, my guy, co-founder, one of the co-founders, co-owners of Karate Combat. Well, not owner, because we're the fans are the owners. One of the top people, though, top dogs. You need to know that's a top dog. All right, that's all you need to know. All right, but still our social media manager. Okay, hired a president we fired. Whatever. Copy our rule set. It's a good one. Touche. Put our exclusive fighters in your events after fight team said no way. That's redacted. So this is the situation that's going on. Dirty Boxing, which is a promotion that just started. They were vamped up not too long ago by Mike Perry and a few other guys. I do not know the owners' names. I do know Mike Perry is involved.
I know the players that are involved. If you want,
you know the players that are involved, so you could get more context on that in a sec. But basically, for the lamest terms for everybody in the audience, what they did was something that is a golden rule in combat sports and damn near any sports. I mean, NFL, whatever you do not sign a player or an athlete to your organization that is signed to an exclusive contract somewhere else. It's just not. It's bad business practice. It's terrible. Now, in Dirty Box's defense, they said that the fighter said that he wasn't under contract. At that point, you need to reach out. And at that point, you need to reach out and see if the fighter is under contract so that you save your ass legally. I mean, that's just the smartest thing to do. If you have a feeling the fighter's under contract, you need to get it with your legal team and figure that out, right? Booking the fighter, even though you don't know or you have a suspicion that they are exclusively signed to another deal, you have to do your due diligence to look into that. And I feel like Dirty Boxing didn't do that. They took the fighter's word for it from what they're saying. And it led to this, right? It led to him fighting in a promotion, possibly could get hurt, possibly could never fight again. And this is somebody that Karate Combat is putting money into, right? So it's morally wrong and wrong on a lot of fronts as far as like business wise. Potential risk that could happen. So this is something that's very serious. Now I'm gonna let Mac Tyson give some context on the actual players involved with this. The former Karate Combat president, which is crazy. We'll have President Awesome on today as well. It's insane. Former Karate Combat president and the owners of Dirty Boxing. So Mac, let me hear your takes on this. I know you probably got a very interesting one.
So talking about the players involved, the main like financier seems to be Ice Bags with Compai Media. It seems to be the main players backing this. The new CEO of, because Mike Perry is involved, but he's more of just like a face. I don't know how involved.
Yeah, he's like Connor. What Connor is to BKFC.
Yeah, he's a mascot.
He's a face. He's a face owner, which like you have stake in the company, but you're not an actual decision maker. Your stake is based off of your social status.
Yeah, I actually watched their like behind the scenes lead up, which I'll go into a little bit about that because it was kind of interesting. But there was a point where Mike Perry thought he was going to be the announcer for the event, and they were like, no, we don't want you the announcer.
Could you imagine Mike Perry announcing fights? It would be very aggressive. It would be some very aggressive fight announcements, man. I think people would be a little scared. You know, the fighters might think he's gonna hit them, but my bad. I didn't mean to cut you off there.
Then the CEO is the former president of Karate Combat, Adam Kovac. So that adds some weight into what decision happened here. Like, it's kind of strange that like it, for the fans of Karate Combat, a lot of them saw like Adam as like the pinnacle of like karate values. Like he was Mr. Karate. And then he goes and pulls a dirty stunt like this. I guess he truly embraced dirty boxing because this was a dirty move.
Yeah, and which is interesting to me is when it comes to karate guys, they're usually high on morals. They're high on discipline,
No,
morality.
this move goes. This was a dirty move that goes against the values of karate. This was not
Yeah.
self-defense. This was Cobra Kai.
Yeah. So do you feel like this was intentional? Like, because when you look at it from a perspective of you have a former president, I don't know what his position is. He literally was, I guess, removed the fight before I got there. So I never got a chance to even meet him. So I don't know any of the backstory or how everything falls like that. But I mean, from the way it looks, if you were the Karate Combat president, you understand how fight ops work. You have to. You have to understand how the contracts work. I'm pretty positive this guy has been on contract since you were there. This is how you know him.
Yeah.
And you know the proper procedures. So am I like, just if I was a spectator looking in, knowing nothing based off this just pure information, I would think it was malicious. Or I would think it was personal or something that was overlooked on the fact that maybe they won't do nothing, right? What do you feel this was? Do you feel like it was an honest mistake or was it actually intentional?
Well, I don't know the behind the scenes, but from what I was reading from like President Awesome and Only LARPing, right? It sounded like they reached out to Karate Combat for permission to use this fighter. Karate Combat said no, and then they booked them anyways.
Yeah.
So if that is the case, then obviously it was intentional, and they thought there's nothing that there was going to be no fallout for them on this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And honestly, there hasn't been much fallout on them for this because like our fans have been upset with dirty boxing, but like the people that like are impartial, they feel like it's more on the fighter's fault.
Yeah. I mean, you have to give you have to give blame to the fighter. You have to give at least a little to them because if anybody knows, you know you're on contract. But the crazy thing about it is the fighter and the organization can both get sued for this, which more than likely is what will happen. Because this is a breach of contract on both ends, right? It's breaching the contract for the fighter, and they helped them breach the contract, right? And what the judge is going to say, in my opinion, if I was a judge, would be like, hey, listen, okay, well, you're the president of, like I just said earlier, right? You're the president of Karate Combat. You're a president of another fight league. You understand how this all works. Yet you didn't do due diligence enough. Because you're going to have to show records in court. You're going to have to show, here's where we reached out to them. Here's where they said he wasn't a fighter. This is the only reason we used him, right? And if you don't have that, they're going to be like, well, where is this? Did you do this? If not, you're going to be like, okay, well, you guys are just at a loss. And the crazy thing is, what a lot of people don't understand is, this is like their first fucking event.
Which is also weird because they didn't even fucking stream it.
I think it was a pay-per-view. I think it was like one of those pay-per-view.
It was a private event that they didn't show to anyone.
So all of these videos are just strictly from like cell phones and like Mac Malley and all of them that were there. Insane.
Well, Mac Malley wasn't there because I asked him ahead of time. That's got to be a weird position for Mac Malley because he does the podcast with.
That's what I was getting into. Like, we literally do a podcast every Thursday, damn near, and he does a pod. Well, he comes on a Karate Combat one with us on Thursdays. He's one of the people who help out with social media with Karate Combat, and is also on the Overdose podcast that is sponsored by Kenpai Media, which is the backers of Dirty Boxing, and also his co-host is Mike Perry, who is a face of Dirty Boxing. So very tough position for my boy. I really hate it. Like, once I see who the organization was, I was highly upset because I would never want my relationship with him to be tarnished due to decisions that weren't made by either of us. You get what I'm saying? That sucks ass. And it sucks ass for him because he's at a predicament where he makes money with both of them. He does the business with both of them. He works with both of them. So it really sucks, bro. And I hope like this could come to a cordial decision and a cordial like agreement so where all of this could move forward and everybody could move forward without, because the beef doesn't help. I mean, this is not what we want to promote as combat sports. Yes, we like to see fighters beef. Yes, we like to see build-ups for fights. But what we don't want to see is the most disciplined people in the world not being disciplined, not having high morality, right? In certain situations. Like, what you want to do outside of business, and that's on your own business. But when it comes to combat sports and you're representing combat sports and also wanting to be in a conglomerate of combat sports, it's kind of rough when you start off bad like this. It's tough. Like I said, it's your first event. Your first event, you have super controversy over. Now, you can say the same thing about UFC, but it was a whole different front. It was just like, this is savagery. We don't know what this is. That's what it was. It wasn't the fact that they were doing bad business and signing a bunch of people that were on all these organizations around the world, and they used people from everywhere on that first UFC. It was people from all over the world. Sumo wrestlers, regular wrestlers, boxers, kickboxers, all types of people. You know what I mean? So, I don't know, man. Go ahead.
I think the reason they're swinging at karate combat is the fact that even though this is a completely different sport, they're going to probably mimic the same like strategy that karate combat has employed, because I already see them laying the foundation for a coin. I mean,
they're with Kenpai Media. Kenpai Media, if you people that for the people at home who don't know, they're a crypto-based community. They have Kenpai Pandas, which is their NFT collection, and they have a bunch of other things that they do that's surrounded with crypto. So what you're saying does make perfect sense.
Yeah, the only reason they're not talking about it right now is because they don't want to scare off the general combat sports fans. That's the only reason they're not talking about it right now.
That's smart too, though.
They want to bait in everyone with the violence and then hook them into the crypto aspect.
Yeah,
which is more dirty strategy than what Karate Combat did, because Karate Combat wasn't originally intended to be a crypto league.
It just happened over time. Yeah, it became it over time.
Because the technology was what was able to do what we wanted to do with the governments.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
The other people involved is First Round Management, which is a MMA management company, which President Asim and Malki Kawa, I think, is the founder's name. They've been beefing on social media. He's also been beefing with the matchmaker of Dirty Boxing, whose name I forget.
Yeah. Insane, bro. Insane, man. But
it was interesting. I talked about a little bit that I was watching some of like the behind the scenes videos that they were posting in the lead up to this event, because they actually showed like the fighting that was going on. Like, Adam and the First Round Management team don't see eye to eye, and I think they were playing it up for the media for this like videos series that they were doing. I don't think it was scripted. I think they were just playing up the real like conflict that they were having.
This shit is insane. Like I said, fighting wars on two fronts has got to be insane. I think we're going to save a little bit more of this conversation for later, since we have President Asim coming on, and we could get more context on from his side. We give you a little bit of our context of what we feel and what's going on with the situation. So very interesting. And I guess we'll find out a little bit more later, and what time, like what's going to actually happen here, man. I wish the best, because Mike Perry's a big fan of Karate Combat. Mac Malley is as well. They both worked with Karate Combat. They've both been to him. And I feel like the beef is unnecessary if it can be solved, right? If it can be solved, let's get it solved. Like, there's no need for us. I think it's room for everybody to eat. And there's room for everybody to make a way for themselves. You just got to do it the right way. And I think that's what it boiled down to.
I was excited to see Dirty Boxing, but
I was too. But also, you got to
swinging at us.
Yeah, but also you got to think too. They made beef with BKFC off rip.
Oh yeah, no, because
I think
when Mike Perry is upset with BKFC because they basically ditched him as soon as Conor got involved.
Yeah, well, I mean, in an aspect, but Conor got involved and then he did dirty boxing, and then you just further ostracize yourself. So now not only do they kind of have a beef with BKFC and whatever's going on there with Conor, they also got problems with Karate Combat. So Karate Combat and Dirty Boxing are fighting wars on two fronts. The only difference is Dirty Boxing is a new organization that has not established themselves yet. And to be trying to make money and make profit and do things and losing money from legal battles is just not a smart business move.
Yeah, but honestly, it's a bigger threat to BKFC than us.
Yo, 100%.
Because BKFC doesn't have a talent pipeline.
Yeah.
They can't, because there's no amateur bare knuckle fights.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
They're just gonna basically get all of the people who really couldn't make it in the regular MMA that are dogs that'll sit there and bare knuckle fight, and that's gonna be the guys they get.
Yeah, but the fact is, if you're one of those people and your choice is between BKFC and Dirty Boxing, because you're going to want to fight with the one with the gloves on because you can fight more frequently.
Yep, 100%. 100%. My boy Jordan Christensen fights BKFC, and he can't fight as often as he wants to. A lot of times they take vicious cuts. So
exactly. So like that is going to now it's going to be like they're going to even get even worse fighters in BKFC, because now fighters that don't want to continue with MMA have a lot of options.
100%, 100%, bro. It's more options available, readily available for you guys. So we'll see in due time, but not too much to dwell on that. Let's move on. There's a few more things we want to talk about before we check out some film from Hayden, one of the new Karate Combat signees, and get Mac Tyson's review on him. I want to talk about this is really big, in my opinion. If you didn't know, Cris Cyborg earlier, she's been on kind of this, I would say, kind of like the Tom Brady, what is it called? The reunion tour, or the retirement tour, I guess you could call it, right? So in this, she fought Pacheco, which we just watched, PFL bout that happened, which was a great fucking fight. Shout out Pacheco, she's a warrior, and shout out also Cris Cyborg. I love her. I've been a huge fan of her ever since the beginning. And so Cris Cyborg has only been wanting to fight super fights lately. She's only been wanting to fight fights that are legacy making fights, similar to what we talked about with the whole John Jones situation, right? I want to fight people that matter, right? Not saying Tom Aspinall doesn't matter, but when you look at UFC history at the current moment, Tom Aspinall is not a part of that, right? Just being an interim champion does not get you to be a part of UFC history. You have to defend, you have to fight, you have to do a bunch of different stuff, right? He had one defense of an interim title, not really the biggest thing to pitch you at the top, right? So people want to fight super fights at the end of their career. Cris Cyborg has been in combat sports for 20 plus years. She's also been at the top of combat sports for about 20 plus years, right? She's been a main event person since she started, and she still is. And at this point in her career, I think she says she's got 3 more fights left or 2 more fights left. So she wants to fight super fights. And what better person to fight, I mean, than Clarissa Shields, arguably the best woman's like pure striker on the planet in boxing. And so with that, as you can see here, Cyborg has been posting a lot about this. She called her out originally. So the first time she called her out, I want to say it was a boxing match. So here's the actual tweet. One of the latest tweets. Muay Thai beats boxing, and this is from Cris Cyborg, with Clarissa Shields ducking me in a boxing fight. So the original fight was a boxing fight at 147. So that was her original proposal. Second proposal was scared of an open weight MMA fight in the PFL. And that was the second proposal. And this is her third proposal, which we absolutely fucking love as Karate Combat people, was for her to do a no weight super fight in Karate Combat. Now, Cris Cyborg versus Clarissa Shields. It's a lot of C's there, all right? Cyborg versus Shields would honestly probably be the pinnacle of striking matchups for women of the century. I feel like these two women are the best strikers on that side of the genders, bro. Like they are Like when you say she, it's two of them. And two of them are right there, right? Cyborg and Clarissa Shields are the best. Clarissa Shields is a very heavy decorated boxer. She's been doing it for a very long time. She's the best. She's beaten the best. And Cyborg has done the same. Clarissa Shields is quite a bit younger than Cyborg. Cyborg's been around the block for a while. But Cyborg is a warrior. If you just seen her fight Pacheco, she fought somebody I think was 20 years almost younger than her. And she went all rounds with her and was cut up, getting beat, like getting bloodied up and still going hard body like she was 21 years old. So Cyborg is literally what her name is. She's a robot. She's not real. She literally is a machine who just knows how to beat people up. And she wants to beat Clarissa Shields up. Now, Clarissa Shields has not said much about this. Clarissa Shields has not really entertained it. She doesn't really want to fight her, I don't think. I don't know who Clarissa Shields wants to fight because honestly, at this point, like, who can she fight? I think she called out like Kayla Harrison or something a while back or some crazy shit. But I'm like, I mean, Kayla Harrison Cyborg, I'm taking a Cyborg fight. If you really think about it, Kayla Harrison is the much younger opponent. The like she could still strike a little bit. Like she's not that bad. She's a great wrestler. So if you fight her in MMA, you're at a huge disadvantage. So for you to not want to fight Cyborg just doesn't make sense to me. Now I'm not saying Clarissa Shields is scared in any way or factor or form, right? Cyborg is saying she's ducking. I don't know the full story. It's always three sides to a story. But from what the current situation looks like, Cyborg looks like she's correct. Right? If I've offered you 3 different fights, then what? So, and if the thing is to me is if I offer you these, you don't want these, then tell me what you want, or say you don't want to fight. Right? I feel like this would be a great fight for Karate Combat, and I want it to happen. But Mac, I want to know what's your percentage of this fight actually fucking happening and it happening in Karate Combat.
If this was going to happen in MMA, it was going to happen in PFL. They're both signed to PFL. It would have been an easy fight to make. So the fact that it hasn't happened means that there's some issue on one of the parties here. Maybe Clarissa Shields, maybe the money isn't there, or maybe she's just scared of the jiu-jitsu aspect. If it's the latter, then Karate Combat is in a good place, and we could make that fight happen. We could do no way, or it could be the first women's lightweight fight at 150 pounds.
Yeah,
I feel like both fighters could make that pretty easily. But
I mean, she offered to fight her at 147. So,
but it's also a tough fight though for Clarissa Shields because she's not that well rounded of a striker yet.
Yeah, in the aspect of all around striking, and if it was strictly hands, she would be proficient. Because she's a boxer, which makes sense. But when you add in other variables and multipliers in there, where it's like, because you don't want to go to the ground with Cyborg if you don't know what you're doing, bro.
Honestly, I have a boxing rules, like a small glove boxing rule set written down for a potential vote in the future if it ever happened. If they want to do that, we can just take away the kicks, and the knees and the elbows.
Yeah, and stuff could be modified, especially for super fights like that aren't exclusive contract fighters, right? They would be coming on a 1-fight deal. It would be similar to the Anthony Pettis and Vincent Henderson fight, or the Luke Rockhold versus why am I drawing a blank here, bro? Luke Rockhold versus
Joe Schilling.
Joe Schilling. Holy shit. And that's crazy because my boy Keith Berry fought Joe Schilling, which is crazy. I wanted Joe Schilling to win so Keith could call him out and then they could fight in Karate Combat. Just didn't work out that way. That motherfucker. Goddamn Luke Rockhold, you pretty assassin. Motherfucker's crazy. And he wasn't even conditioned. Insane. But not to go too deep into that. Yeah, bro. So what do you say the percentage is though? Like, if you had to guesstimate right now the percentage of this fight actually happening, what would you say?
Right now, I'd say 30, just because Clarissa Shields hasn't responded.
Yeah.
If Clarissa Shields responds in any way, then I'd say that jumps up. Like, even if she says that, like, oh, you're not on my level or something, there's still some back and forth. So that's adding fuel to the fire. But right now it's one-sided. So the interest is not there to make the fight happen.
But I don't understand why the interest wouldn't be there because Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, who else are you gonna fight at this time? Like, it's not a very
She
like
can make it.
fast.
She can make a big bag in against much less dangerous opponents.
Yeah. Oh, here's a video too, and it's crazy because here's like a face to face of them going at it. I don't know what this is.
I can't hear nothing.
You can't hear nothing.
No.
Jeez, man. Why does it always do this to me, dude? All right, let's see. Let's try this again, guys. Oh, okay. That's why. But dude, why won't it show me that? Well, that sucks. Boy, here, I guess I could do this.
Apparently, no noise for Tyler Bueno. También.
Yeah. Same, dude. We're fixing it now. Well, that's not what I wanted to show. What the hell? Yo, Restream, get your shit together, dude. Holy crap. Definitely. Okay, there we go. We should have audio now.
No. Maybe you could just let us know what they're saying.
Oh, so you still can't hear it?
No.
All right, I know what to do here. Watch this. I know exactly what to do here, guys. It's okay. We're gonna hear this because actually Cyborg talks in this one about it. So let's get more context from her. I actually haven't seen this video. There we go. Now this. All right, now this should actually work this time. I'm hoping, guys. Let's get it. All right. Share tab audio.
Yeah, but you're fighting.
There we go.
All right, awesome. Now it's crazy is you guys can hear it and now I can't hear it. It's insane. Like, what is going on? I swear to you, like, you guys can hear it, I can't hear
why you
shit.
don't want a 555? Why you want me to turn a 47? Because I don't have any experience.
What the
boxing,
fuck?
So
You do have.
There is nothing scary about you. Box is not real fight. In real fight, I suplex you in your head and you knock yourself out because you don't know break or fall.
I have more than a lot of 100 fights. I don't have 100 fights.
I have 100 fights in
We
the
can
amateur.
figure out, do you have experience boxing? We make it the weight together and they can fight.
Well, I'm not.
Fight.
Well, I'm not going to 47.
But you can make 47 if a beer dies.
And you can make 55.
Yeah, but you have a lot of fights, so you can make it.
So
What's the
Clarissa
difference
wants her
between
to make
8 pounds? Why
155.
how come
Well, but why can you lose?
But at boxing is what it seemed like she was saying, right?
Yeah.
you get on straight guys, you can gain weight. You see
I
what I'm
mean,
saying?
like,
For those of you watching, women's boxing 147 pound fight 8 ounce gloves. And if you fight 154, you fight 10 ounce gloves. I'm willing to go your sport. I'm willing to give it up the experience, but you have to make 147 till we can fight 8 ounce gloves.
all right. So I didn't hear anything that just happened. So I'm gonna listen to it while Mac, I guess you could give your. Oh, I'm an idiot, dude. No, I'm just really stupid, guys. Tab was muted. What a I'm gonna get it together one day, dude. The tab was what's the name? And so Cris Cyborg says so Tyler Brano. Oh, Tyler, I use Wavelink, which is very similar to Banana Meter. So a lot better, and I use it. It's through Elgato. It's just I have 3 different audio shits on my computer for music, for this, and other stuff. So sometimes they tend to cross wires. Back to this. So Cyborg wants to fight at 8 ounce gloves. Cris Shield wants to fight 155 boxing.
10 ounce.
10 ounce gloves. So it's looking like it's one of those, right? And this is something common you see a lot of the times with boxers and MMA fighters or crossover fights is these stipulations get put in a way that's like you're gonna go here and I'm gonna go here with it, and then you're gonna go here and then I'm gonna say this with it, and it's always this avoidance of like we went through it with Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather. We went through it with a few different fighters. Like we went through it with who was it? Freaking Dylan Dennis and the other guy. Who did he fight? Jake Paul last, right? Or was it Logan?
Don't remember.
I think Dylan Dennis fought Logan. But anyways, it's usually sometimes it's a ploy that fighters use as a runaround, right? You want this, I'll say this. That way we don't come to an agreement because it has to be an agreement. So my percentage of this fight happening, I say it's around the same, like 30-35%. And the 30-35% is all based off of Cris Cyborg. Like, it's not based off anything else. So
Yeah, because the fact is, Cris Cyborg wants to fight in karate combat.
yeah,
She loves the Web3 industry. She thinks karate combat's fantastic. She's a fan. She just wants to fight in that pit.
yeah, 100%. And we met her. I met her at Karate Combat, and we talked about Karate Combat. She was like, "I love this. Like, this is amazing. I love this. Like, I want to fight here." And that was dope. That's actually the first show I had did on air stuff, and I met her there. So that was super lit. But I really hope to see this fight, man. We'll wait more to see how much this develops and how far this is gonna go with the whole Cyborg and Clarissa Shields thing. But let me tell you something. I definitely want to make this fight happen if we can. I also may have somebody who might be able to make this fight happen. He might be coming on in like the next 30 freaking seconds. So even though we got one more thing to talk about, we'll get to it after because we got to talk to this guy. He's a very busy man, and I'm so happy that he gave us the time today to talk to him. If you don't know who this man is, you obviously have not been watching combat sports for the last few years. This is the president of Karate Combat, one of the best guys on social media, one of the best coaches that is out right now with an insane record throughout his gym with fighters in the UFC, BKFC, Game Bread, you name it. They're all over the place. Karate Combat. He's got one fighting for a championship belt. He's got one that's an intern champion. This man is the man. He is the man. And we had to get him on. It's only right. We got my boy, my man, President Awesome is in the motherfucking house. How's it going, Prez?
What's up, man? Happy to be here. You know, I've been watching the show. I love it. Love what you and Mac are doing. And happy to be on finally.
Yeah, man, and we glad to have you, man. You know, it's two presidents out there right now, and you definitely one of my favorites, 100%. But it's a lot going on, man. We were just talking about it a little bit earlier, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to have you on. I know we know each other. We talk all the time and stuff, but a lot has been going on, and at this point, you fighting a war on two fronts, brother. You literally,
yeah, man. It's tough because. Yeah, I was going to say, you know, it's just tough because this business, the combat sports game is a very dirty, dirty business, you know, and I didn't know that one of my missions here would be to clean up the sport. And it's become just a habit of mine now where a big mission of mine is let's clean up the sport. Let's make it a better environment for fighters. Let's emphasize fighters first because they're the ones putting their lives on the line. But it's not easy, man. I went after one very, very, very hard. And, you know, using Karate Combat as a platform to, you know, bring to light some of the terrible things that are happening to fighters and also giving opportunities to the fighters that may feel trapped over there, you know, in Asia. So that was the objective by going to Singapore, and that was the objective by going to Bangkok. That was sort of the war-on-one shenanigans that that Only Larping spoke about. So yeah, that's basically what we're doing there. As far as this second drama that went on with Dirty Boxing, just to make a long story short, I mean the owner of Dirty Boxing or I should say the owners of Dirty Boxing, they're the ones making the decision. Mike Perry is in no way, shape, or form involved in the dirty business we're speaking of. I talked to him on the phone for like 20-30 minutes the other day. He had no idea what's allowed and what's not allowed. He's the face of the organization. He's trying to do something very special for fighters as well. He has no idea what's happening in the background. The one to blame, you know, really was Maukikawa. That guy and I have a history together, and obviously he has a huge track record of doing dirty business. You know, Masvidal is suing him or sued him and won successfully, and a lot of fighters really don't like this guy. It was awesome because on Twitter when we had our back and forth, I never had so much support in my life. Like everyone was trolling this guy with me, so it was really cool. I didn't realize there's a whole army that was against this dude. But that being said, I don't want Dirty Boxing to take the heat for it because the more organizations there are in the world, the better for the fighters, you know, the more opportunities for fighters, because a big problem now, and I know this as a coach, is there are more world-class fighters than there are world-class leagues. And what that means is many fighters are undiscovered and are undervalued because they have nowhere to go. You know, there's some countries out there, if I go there, I'll find 100 potential world champions that nobody's ever heard of. And that's no good. So the more organizations that can exist out there, the better. We just have to do clean business. And that's what's hard in combat sports. You know, I made a great alliance with the UFC. You know, I'm with them all the time. I go to the UFC headquarters and I meet with the guys over there. I have great friends at the PFL. You know, Lauren Mack, the VP, he calls me up and we have a great relationship with some of the guys at the PFL. Glory, good relationship with the guys at Glory. They even came to the organization, to the event we had in Bangkok. I don't know if you guys know that, but the head matchmaker was at our event. The K1 president just started following me. So we have a lot of good friends in the industry that are doing clean business that I want to continue that relationship with. Oh, the PKFC president, Dave Feldman, we're very close. I'm going to meet with him next week for coffee. Really good relationship. So we have a lot of allies that are doing good business, that are providing opportunities, but then there's the ones out there that just aren't, right?
Yeah.
Say it again?
Combate Global.
too.
Oh, yeah, Combate too.
Yeah. Well, I want to like, and it's weird because the guy that you speak of, is he newer to this type of thing? Like, because you're saying he's had. I think we might have lost him there. I don't know. He's here. Okay, there it is. So,
Yeah,
the guy that you're speaking.
You now.
Okay, so the guy you were speaking on just currently, it seems like he's not, and it's weird because you just started this, right? You just became president, which is crazy and saying we started working on the same for Karate Combat on the same card in December, and this guy, like, you're newer to this, but you've been very diplomatic with everybody else. What in your like mindset did you come into this with? Like, where is that the original thought? Because I mean, it's smart because it seems like the person we're talking about is the exact opposite, right? And it's smart. Like we were saying, like we want to see this be solved cordially. Yeah. We want to see everybody eat. I don't think anybody wants to see any of the other combat sports leagues go down, because at the end of the day, it's an outlet for a fighter. A fighter might not be good here, but he's good over here. The same thing happened with UFC and Robelis Spain. He's not the best over there because he's not a great wrestler, but this guy's an amazing striker. He needs to be somewhere where he can succeed. So we want all of the leagues to succeed. So is this one of your main missions, to be very diplomatic with everybody so that everything is cohesive and cordial when you're moving around in the space?
Well, for sure. And, there's many reasons for that. One, it is to better the environment in combat sports and to help fighters. But think about it. There's a benefit to myself as well, being a coach. I have fighters, like you said, that fight in BKFC, that fight in Gamebred, that fight in the UFC. I have guys, hey, the $1 million tournament winner from PFL was at my gym right now for a week taking privates with me. So I have fighters fighting around the world in different organizations. I definitely don't want problems with them, and that's, I would say, is one reason. And the second reason is everyone doing well just provides more opportunities in general. It makes a better environment for everybody. It kind of rises the platform of combat sports for everyone. So I'm happy with that. That's all good. We just need to do clean business. One thing, Mike Perry and I have a phenomenal relationship. One thing that I don't like, the people that own that league, we've had many problems with, Malkikawa. These guys are bullies, especially Malkikawa's the bully. He pushed me around when I was a small gym owner, and I didn't stand up for myself. And I had to cower away because at that time I was insecure. I was new to the space. I didn't have credibility, and I was very scared of what he was threatening to destroy me. That's what he was doing when I first started my gym. Now, 3 years later, I'm a different entity, right? Like now I'm leading one of the top combat sports organizations on the planet. So I have the confidence to speak up for myself and not allow myself to be bullied. So when he called me up and tried to push me around, it felt so good to stand up to him. And man, when he tried to go off on me, I just met him with that same energy, and it was just a complete failure on his part, And then he tried to go on socials, and then I got all that support on socials, and it just felt so good. What I don't like though is like Mike Perry taking the heat for no reason, because he's just a good guy trying to do right by fighters. It's kind of the same intentions that I have. And then what I don't like either is, you know, I know they told him some different things to say on Ariel Helwani, and he was very diplomatic and he spoke well, but he said a couple things that I didn't like. Like, he's like, oh, they're attacking us, this and that. Look, if we were attacking them, I wouldn't have allowed all my fighters to be guest of honors to his event. They were all my fighters were VVIP, guest of honor, standing right next to Perry and John Jones. They were on the TV screens, picture next to Perry, saying, welcome Chris Alvidrez. Like, they're welcoming. I wouldn't have sent my fighters as guest of honors if I was attacking them. You know, also, we had some people that their ticketing team, their red carpet team are guys that work at Karate Combat. And they asked us, hey, are we allowed to do this? And we said, yeah, go ahead. I wouldn't have supported that if I was attacking them. Also, even their bodyguards were my students. They didn't even know that. Like, the former president was there, right? He had no idea that the bodyguards that were hired were my students. And then when he saw them, he literally, my students told me this, he went up and was like, why are they here? And they're like, oh, no, they're working the event. So it's like, okay, I've given you all these people. Like, I'm cool. Like, I've told all of them to post you on social media, to market it. Look, even right now, Gogo, he just posted Dirty Boxing up. He asked me, hey, is this cool? I'm like, I love Mike Perry. Support them. Do it. So it's like, don't change the narrative and say that I'm attacking you, because essentially I had guys that were helping out and that were involved in the show and that worked the show and they got paid by the show. So it's like, come on, guys. Like, I was just upset that Maukikawa did something very dirty. That's completely not allowed when it comes to contracts. Look, we have a signed exclusive fighter to us, and knowingly you put him to fight still. For what? And then, look, they tried to take the higher ground. Look, Maukikawa tried to manipulate everyone. And what was awesome is everyone kept calling him out on it. He's like, oh, they signed this guy and shelved him and didn't get him a fight. He was signed 3 weeks prior. 3 weeks prior. Then they're like, oh, they're taking money out of his mouth. They paid him $1,000. He's set to make $10,000 at Karate Combat.
Wow.
So, do you understand? And then I call up the coach and be like, why'd you allow this? And you know what the coach told me? The coach said that the fighter thought and was told that we were okay with it and thought that he would still be able to fight for us if he fought for Dirty Boxing. So what does that tell me? That tells me that some people were playing very dirty and told this fighter and convinced him that it's okay.
We lost Prez for a second.
Yeah. Looks like he's going through a rough spot. Those highways in Florida can be difficult for signals.
Yeah, honestly, like in Restream Live, it doesn't do well with the whole
moving
driving.
around.
I've tried it before, and it was unusable for me.
Oh yeah, I remember that one time you tried it. Yeah, it wasn't really working. Yeah, dang.
Actually, I had to go into a hotel and ask if I could use their Wi-Fi.
Hey, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, baby. I done that and took an interview before, like an actual like virtual interview at a Starbucks right in front of it, with my like suit on in the background and stuff. I got the background and the little button up on. Dang, man, Prez was getting into it too, man. I hate the. We'll see if he kicks back in.
Yeah, there's a few questions I want to ask. Like, is it just Maukikawa, or how involved was Adam Kovacs and Ice Bags in this decision, if at all?
Yeah. I feel like if Mike Perry's not involved that heavy in it, I don't think they are as well.
Well, the difference is Mike Perry isn't really involved with day-to-day stuff. He's a face. If anything, there maybe I feel like, and that's also another question I want to ask President Awesome is, does it feel like they're kind of using Mike Perry as the face to kind of take all the hits because he's such a lovable figure?
Yeah, that's usually what happens. I mean, it's the same thing with quarterbacks on teams, right? They come in and they make them the face of the squad so that when the squad messes up, it's like the head coach and the quarterback are the problem. But when you got guys that are actually picking these guys and placing them together and putting them all together, it's more to it than just that. We're going to wait and see if we can get President Austin back on. But yeah, like to what he was saying, before what he was just saying though, like I was gonna say to him, like, bro, that even if the guy felt like that, it's still on Dirty Boxing to reach out to Karate Combat. It's still, they have to. Like, you just gotta. It's CYA. Cover your ass. Make sure it's no discrepancies or reasons why you could possibly end up in some shit legally. Because legal battles, bro, getting sued is not what the fuck you want, bro. It is expensive. Majority of the time is expensive. Unless you settle out early, it's expensive, bro. Those lawyer fees, those investigation fees, all of that stuff gets super expensive. We got Prez back. But yeah, as Dirty Boxing, well, what I was saying before you came back in, Prez, was just kind of like hitting on what you were saying when you said that the fighter thought that he wasn't on contract yet. And what I was saying is, I feel like Dirty Boxing has, as an organization, has to do their due diligence and reach out to you guys. And because as a company, I mean, you would want to see why, hey, I want to cover my ass, right? You want to make sure there's no reason for legalities to happen to me and jeopardize my brand new company that we just started on our first event, right? I mean, that would be, to me, would just be smart business savviness.
No,
and just
that's
thinking.
the standard, because Karate Combat, and President Asim can talk about this, Karate Combat has done fights where, like with Samuel Erickson, who fought in Misfits, and Misfits wanted written confirmation from Karate Combat that it was okay for them for Samuel Erickson to fight.
Yeah.
Dirty Boxing, to my knowledge, hasn't
That's
done that. Did
standard.
they even try calling Karate Combat before this fight happened?
No. So look, great questions. Here's what went on prior. So I asked the manager, or the manager asked Karate Combat, hey, can we do this fight? We said, hey, no, we signed this guy to an exclusive contract for significant money. He's set to make, I mean, he would make between 50 to 60 grand year one at Karate Combat, with standard 4 fights a year, which is insane for a guy that's 35 years old, coming to our league. Like, no one on the planet is going to pay him that. It's never going to happen.
UFC
But
fighters don't make that in context.
No. It's not going to happen. He was going to make that with us. And that's why his coach was so adamant about signing him. And to be honest, although he's a phenomenal fighter, I know that market value, we were overpaying him. But I did it because his coach has many fighters with us, is a wonderful man, really vouched for this guy. I said, look, I'll give him a good contract starting off because we have a great relationship together. Trauma Muay Thai, shout out. He's Brendan Jenkins' coach also. But that's why I did that. I took that risk, and it stinks to find out at the end of the day that the fighter's claiming he had no idea. Dirty Boxing. So what happened is I told the manager we can't do it. And the manager stayed quiet. He's like, okay, no problem, whatever. And then I see the weigh-ins the day before, and Anvar's there weighing in. And I'm like, dude, I just told this guy last week that we're not doing this thing. So I call up, I hit up the owner of Dirty Boxing. And I say, hey, let's schedule a call because this is going on, whatever. And the owner was very apologetic. It's Maoki Kawa's cousin. He was very apologetic. He says, okay, let me go and find out what's happening. He calls me up the next day with Mike Perry, and they're really asking me to make this fight happen. Now, what I told him is like, look, guys, we're paying him good money. He's set to fight it. He's set to fight in February. We want him to take on a top 5 guy. It's a very important fight for us to do in February. It's a 12-week camp, which is standard for a fighter for a big fight. We got to keep this fight. But what I can offer is a replacement. I can offer you 2 different replacements. They're in my gym right now. They both accepted for any pay you give them. They'll just fight. And they're like, no, I don't know if we can do that. I'm like, don't worry. I know you can do that because I've done it before in Florida. I know the commission very well, and I put on fights in 5 hours notice. I've had fighters, multiple fighters, that I've fought on 5 hours notice in Florida. And as long as they're experienced, they let it happen. Now, what they told Mike Perry, because Mike Perry didn't know this, they told Mike Perry the commission wouldn't allow it. And that's what he told me. He's like, man, commission's not, it told me they weren't going to allow it. I said, no, that never happened, man. Your guys told you this, whatever. It's just not true. And, he admits, like, he doesn't know these intricacies of the business to understand what's right and what's wrong necessarily, you know? Like his job is promoting it, you know, helping fighters out and making it a dope event. But he doesn't know the intricacies. Like, for instance, the matchmaker of Dirty Boxing. He's one of the head managers at First Round Management, okay? Did you know it's illegal for somebody to be a matchmaker and manager at the same time? Mike Perry doesn't know that. He doesn't know that. I know that because when I got this job, thank God my wife's an attorney, and she made us study our asses off and made sure that whoever we hire as a matchmaker is not a manager, is not claiming to be a manager. So the next day, Dirty Boxing, their matchmaker's trolling me at how amazing of a manager he is, right? And it's just such an ignorant thing to do because in reality, right, you get reported. I'm not going to do it. But you just ratted yourself out. If you're that great of a manager and you're a matchmaker, that is illegal. You can't do that, dummy. So it's like I'm dealing with some ridiculous people in the background. But it is what it is, man. I wish the best for Dirty Boxing. It's a dope event. Mike Perry's just like the man. I love how he promotes things. I love how funny he is. He's a role model for all men, in my opinion. You know, he came to my gym when he was in a very dark place to train with me, and we bonded really closely, and he was kind of lost on what he was going to do in life. And to go from such a dark place to superstardom, to becoming an entrepreneur, to becoming a champion, to having a wonderful wife with beautiful children and posting her on social media and talking great about her. Like, how can you not admire that man? How can you not love that man? And that's why I care about Mike Perry. And that's why I will never go against Dirty Boxing, because I want the best for that man, Mike Perry. He's a role model for any fighter that's struggling and wants to make it. They should look at him because he did it. He made it.
So how will you first, I kind of have two questions. One, how involved do you think Adam Kovacs, the current CEO of Dirty Boxing, former president of Karate Combat, was involved in this? And also Ice Bags, who's one of the main financiers and the head of Combat Media, who you and him kind of had a little bit of a spat, even though you didn't want that.
Yeah, I didn't want that. In all honesty, I know he's very famous in the crypto world. This is my ignorance. It's not that he's not an important guy. It's just that I don't know who Ice Bags is. It's my fault. Like I don't know the world enough. I'm still learning about crypto. I'm still learning about all these things. So I truly do not know who Ice Bags is. So when he came at me so hard, like making fun of me, I didn't attack him back because I don't know, man. I don't know you. Why am I going to hate on you? Like, that's just not, I don't get it. Like, why should I be angry at you? I don't know who you are. I just know you're a really wealthy dude that is putting money behind a cool organization. So I don't have reason to not like you yet. So I didn't say anything back. You know, he was very rude to me through the DMs too. He was very, very rude. You know, he said, hey, would you like to come on a podcast together and discuss the situation? I said, yeah, let's do it. I would love to do that. But let me check in with my people. And he says, oh, what kind of man has to ask another man permission of something? And I said, it's a man that respects his team. I respect my team, and I'm not going to make a decision for the people I represent without speaking to them first. And that's the type of person I am. So he was still trying to roast me. I got approval by Only LARPing, by Rob, by everybody to go on this podcast. Mike Perry was very excited too. We agreed to do the podcast 3 p.m. on Tuesday, and the guy ghosted. And for obvious reasons, because look, if I sit and I spit the facts that I'm spitting at you guys to him, he's going to start stuttering. He has nothing to say. Like if I say your matchmaker's doing illegal work, what is he going to say?
Yeah, what can you say?
If I say this is an exclusive contract, this is an exclusive contract. He signed this date. What are you going to say? Like, here are the text messages, notifying your organization that this fight isn't allowed. What are you going to say? So he has nothing to say. So he was very smart and didn't do the podcast with me. And again, no disrespect. I don't know who the dude is. He's very mean to me, so maybe I don't really like him yet. But I don't know, man. I really don't care. Like, again, all my fighters were at Dirty Boxing supporting. I'm down. Like, I'm cool with everybody. You know, who knows? Maybe my guys will fight there one day. I don't know.
What's crazy is the fact that, and a lot of people don't know, is LARPing, Rob, and the rest of the heads at Karate Combat, they honestly, as somebody when you work for them, they're not as like for him to do what he did is extra because they don't care. Like it was going to be a yes if he went to them or not. Because I know how Rob and LARPing are. I know exactly how they are. And they honestly, LARPing says it all the time. If Prez doesn't feel like he's about to lose his job, he's not doing his job right? So these are the guys that he went to. So for you to say, oh, you got to ask another man. No, it's a respect level thing because these guys don't care. They're going to let me do it. They're going to let me come and represent the company. And I did the same thing. I have something I have to do coming up for Karate Combat. It's just me going on and speaking on it. But I was like, hey, listen, guys, send me the questions ahead of time so I can pass it off to the guys to make sure I'm representing the company right. Now, I know LARPing is going to tell me, dude, I'm not looking at that. I trust you. I know what you're going to do. Do your thing. You know what I mean? Because they're probably going to send a long ass list. Yeah. But it's a respect level to reach out to the people that you're representing and make sure you're representing them to the utmost of respect. So with that being said, on that aspect,
even with me, whenever I get invited on to talk with something, I always ask only LARPing is all right if I come on and represent Karate Comedy. He says, of course, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know, and you know, that's like you said, it's a respect thing. Look, my students hit me up. Can we go to Dirty Boxing? We know Adam Kovacs, the former president, is the CEO there. Can we go? I said, guys, go, enjoy it, have a good time, take pictures, post about it. If you guys want to fight there one day, talk to the matchmaker, do your thing, you know. One thing also, you know, my wife has a management, and she's, what do you call it? Reducing the roster. I forgot the word that she uses, but the proper word, but she's very respectfully reducing the roster because there's no time for her to manage anymore because she's handling so much and helping me with Karate Combat. Yeah. So she's just cutting it down tremendously. And, you know, we've let go of some fighters, and some fighters had asked me prior to the Dirty Boxing event, can we sign with First Round, with that guy, the matchmaker, who really was roasting me, right? They said, can we sign with him? They asked me, and I, out of respect. And I said, of course. Hey, if you are interviewing all these managers and think he's the best, run it, go for it, man. So I'm very open-minded that everyone, I just want them to do well, you know, just clean business is all I ask. And I think it's a very fair ask. What stinks is after the fact, they try manipulating things to make me look bad, to make Karate Combat look bad. And it's for no reason, you know, like it's obvious we're not attacking you. Our own employees are working for your event. My own fighters are supporting your event. So now you're framing it like we're attacking. We're obviously not. You're saying we benched our fighter. He got signed 3 weeks ago. You're saying we're taking money out of his mouth, but we're literally paying him 10x to win at our event than your event. So it's like they're trying to manipulate. What's awesome is it didn't work. Like people supported us. But at the same time, there might be people out there that are like, oh, Karate Combat are assholes. They're trying to destroy them and bench fighters. And it's like, yo, why? Why are you lying?
Well, that's more coming from the Dirty Boxing fans right now. Would you say then, like, you're not calling on a war declaration on Dirty Boxing yet? You just want to bring to light.
No.
You want to bring to light that this was a dirty move, but you're hoping we can move past that.
Oh, for sure. And the only reason is because of Mike Perry. You know, if he wasn't the face, and he wasn't, this is a way to feed his family right now, guys. Like, how much longer is he going to fight? You know, is he going to fight BKFC again? I don't know. He may never fight again, or maybe he will, but how many more fights? This is his next step in life. How am I going to stand in front of such a great man and stop his ability from making a living? No, I'm not going to do that. Even if it did hurt us, I'm not going to do that for him. You know, now if he wasn't involved, maybe, because the people at the top are really, and this is just all messed up, to be honest. Adam Kovacs, look, I never had a problem with him. We had some disagreements, but we didn't have a problem. Obviously, he's going to feel some type of way because, you know, he was let go and I earned the position, but I don't hate the guy. That guy hates me, though. Jesus Christ. That guy
I can understand that why he would hate you, but
I can understand, you know, I can understand he worked, you know, like he was working and he was this was his main source of income, and you know, it sucks to lose that, you know, and I feel really bad for him. But he has a great thing ahead, so there was no reason to like do this. Like he has a great event ahead of him with Dirty Boxing pairing up with Mike Perry. There's no reason to act like this, but It is what it is, man. I mean, I tried to involve myself with Adam Kovac's drama because that was before my time, and I don't know how things were when he was around, and I don't know. I don't have a problem with Adam. I don't know. I don't know anything about him either. So.
Well, I hope we could get this all cordially settled. You know what I'm saying? Also, we talked about it earlier. Mike Perry and Mac Malley are two people that I really love that are a part of the Karate Combat kind of family and community. And I would hate to see that be tarnished due to this. And decisions that were made by none of the people that will end up being separated in the situation, right? Because the people who did make the decision have already kind of been separated from that. So hopefully we could come to a great cordial agreement on that. I want to speak on something else that's kind of big. I don't want to dwell on too much on the beefs. It's a lot more to you than that. And it's a lot more to Karate Combat stuff to that. It was an interesting proposal from Cris Cyborg to fight Clarissa Shields in Karate Combat, which is a super fight. I know you love super fights. You started off kind of your tenure at Karate Combat with a super fight. And these things are huge for the sport, right? They're huge for the sport. They're also huge for the organization that hosts them. I asked Mike Tyson what's his percentage that he thinks this fight will happen. Because we know Cyborg's down. It's kind of on the Shield side of things, right? He said 30%. I want to know what's your percentage that you think that this fight, Karate Combat, can make this fight happen. And then two, how do you feel about this fight? Like, it's a huge thing for combat sports and women being two of the best strikers on the planet. So I wanted to get your thoughts on that.
So two of the biggest goals I have for 2025 is to have Cyborg compete for us, and it's to have Buaka compete for us. Those are my two very big missions for 2025. Preferably Buaka versus Rafael Agaev, preferably, which it would be just like an absolute classic karate versus Muay Thai matchup, and it would just be, it might be the most epic, style versus style match in history, in my opinion. It would be just monumental. I need to make that happen. I want to make that happen. And then obviously anything with Cyborg, she really wants this fight. So I'm going to work hard on that. But regardless, just having her compete for us and at a high level fight will make me happy. And I want to make that happen. For me, she's the greatest female combat sports athlete ever. And how can we not have her in Karate Combat at least just one time?
Yeah.
So
I think you can get
those are the two things I really want to make happen.
There's two fights you can make here. There's the Clarissa Shields fight, and there's also Jarena Bars, where she wants to get that run back.
That would be a very
great. Yeah, exactly. These are the ones we got to hit up and see what we can make happen. But I would bet that, my goal being those two fights, making them happen, I think I'll make it happen. Yeah. Like every goal that we've had for Karate Combat this year, we've knocked out of the park. And, it's crazy what we've pulled off, what we've had to go through this year out in Mexico with some crazy situations that I don't know if I'm allowed to mention, out in Dubai with the floods, the floods up to your hip. The
Bro,
day before our event.
Yeah. I got trapped at a hotel. I got trapped at the Grand Hyatt.
Yep.
In Dubai.
One thing I gotta ask though is, you come in as president, and the first year, because you it was a little bit of a transition at the end of the year, but when you came in January, this was your full time. Now you're president, and you're given almost double the events that any other year in Karate Combat history.
That's so like those type of statistics, I try not to shine too much light on, just because I don't want to be honest. I think about offending Adam Kovacs in a lot of ways, and I don't want to hurt his feelings and say anything, because he really is strong on that he built KC and everything he did in many ways.
No, and he did good work here when he was here. I have no issue.
He did great work,
Adam. And he has an issue with me. He actually blocked me on Instagram.
I'm shocked. No way. He blocked me. He blocked my wife.
Guy, bro.
Dude, he blocked Shazib. He blocked my wife. Blocked me on Twitter. I don't know why, man. And then, whatever. It is what it is. But those type of statistics, maybe now I'll start saying them more, because I think they're important. But you're right. We did double the events that's ever been done in Karate Combat history. And I believe so far, I've done more events in 12 months, 13 months than from 2019 to 2023. I believe so, something like that, which is 4 years, right? So we've gone ham, traveling the world and doing crazy events, and the level of fighting is amazing. And finally, I truly believe if you're a combat sports athlete, if you're a fighter, there's no doubt about this. This is unarguable. If you're a fighter and you want to make a career, you only have a few choices. It's the UFC, it's karate combat, it's PFL, it's BKFC, or maybe for some people, one championship. You have 5 options. Outside of those 5 options, you're not really making a career. You're going to be, you have to work another job. So it's like we have become a top 5 league on the planet, unarguably, which is so powerful that karate combat is there. You know, and thankfully we have a beautiful team around us. Like, want people to understand, I've been saying this a lot, like I get a lot of credit, and some of the guys behind the scenes don't care to get credit. They don't want the credit. A lot of guys, you know, they don't want the credit. They don't mind it. But in all honesty, it's all of us together. It really is. It's everybody together. And a big person, I would say, I said this the other day, the one who pushes my creativity more than anybody is only LARPing, because he gives me the confidence to go out there and say anything I'd like, do anything I want, and not censor me, as well as some of his creative ideas are really genius. Like, I'll tell you this, when we threw my event at my mom's house, he's the one that brought up, he's like, Asim, what do you think about calling it Kickback at Mom's House? And I was like, at Asim's mom's house? That's hilarious. Like, that's like the funniest thing ever. And I ran with it, and I made a promo and directed a promo on it. But in reality, it started at birth by only LARPing's idea, you know? So it's just like all of us come together. Look, Mac Tyson, this whole year, what I love about him the most is, and he's not scared to do it, he'll come at me and be like, hey, what about this? I know you're thinking this, but what about that? He'll make me question certain things. And I'm like, oh my God, he's a great voice for the community, where he can keep me in line and be like, hey, don't forget about this. Don't forget about that. And I appreciate that so much about him. You know, and he helps guide all the marketing, and he's like an absolute genius, you know, when it comes to all these statistics about all these fighters. I go to him for it. I'm like, hey, who fights this style? Who fights that style? What kind of guy is this? He knows it on the spot. He doesn't have to look it up. It's crazy.
100%.
So it's like all of us together, and King Apollo, let me kiss your ass a little bit. The first time I saw you on the broadcast, when I saw that microphone in your hand, I said to myself, I want to see if this guy freezes. Let's see, because I've never seen him do this. And you killed it. And you killed it, man.
He also killed it on commentary for IFC. I think he's one of the best IFC commentators.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Hey,
well, a lot of them are my
of
friends, so it's easy. It's easy because a lot of the IFC fighters are my friends. It makes it a lot easier to understand them more. So I'm kind of there to help Josh and Mike get the kind of backstories and stuff. But I do appreciate it. I'm honestly just grateful and blessed that y'all gave me the opportunity to do something I love. You know what I mean? Actually, and LARPing too, to get on to what you said, is he's always super supportive and just like always want to push the envelope on helping you grow as an individual and making your own personality. He doesn't want me to form into karate combat. He was like, no, you make your own thing and you make that as an extension of karate combat. I don't want you to conform into the bubble. Like, and he's always pushing the envelope, and I love him for that. Like, he's another one. Like, and I just like Leo, both Leos are amazing. Production and the matchmaker, they don't take credit. LARPing is another one who doesn't take credit. Rob's doing a lot of shit in the background. You don't hear from him a lot. He's doing big things. The whole production crew, Mackenzie, all of them. It's a lot of people. Todd, Christian. It's a bunch of guys that make this whole thing work, and they don't get a lot of love. I always try to show love. One, I come from production. Like, a lot of people don't know that. Is why I'm always around production guys and stuff. Is I used to do AV work. I did stagehand work. I used to fly line arrays. I used to do all the stuff they're doing, put together staging, all types of stuff. So I love to be able to get on their flowers too, man, because honestly, what I do and what I did do was nowhere near possible without them, because it was my first time doing it. And they guided me so well and made it so easy for me to be able to just fit into the mode of the KC broadcast like system that they had already built. It streamlined it so much more for me. Now, to what you were saying, I did shit my pants a little bit. I think that's where I froze, you know? But what I did was that first one, and it was crazy because it was like you were over there, Laura was over there, Leo. It was like all of my peoples. And it's like, okay, you cannot fuck this up. And So in my head, I was just like, listen, your whole life, you just been running your mouth. People say you talk too much. Just black out and talk. Just talk. And I blacked out. I talked. And then next thing I know, Leo was dapping me up like, yo, you did a great job. And I was like, oh, shit, it's over. So that was kind of like when I did my first experience, it was great. But yeah, man, like I said, blessed to be working with you guys, man. It's an amazing team. And the broadcast team is crazy. Like working with people like Robin Black. Like people don't really understand Robin Black as much as like us being around him all the time is. That man is a gem to this earth. Like literally. He is a gem to this earth. And a lot of people don't understand because he's a little eccentric. He wears his makeup. He wears his fly stuff. He's got his own style. He paved his own lane. But dude, man, just being able to work alongside those people is
like at an event in Dominican Republic, I saw him do the 1 minute breakdown and like videotape it. It takes him 1 minute to edit it.
Yeah.
I didn't know he took. I didn't know 1 minute breakdown also meant you got to also post it within 1 minute after recording.
Yeah, and he's doing those breakdowns. He doesn't have anything. He's just straight off. He watches the fight. He gets something in his head. You'll see him standing there. He'll kind of be in his head. He goes on, kills it, and it just moves on to the next fight. And he just does this. He's such a professional. He's an amazing guy. Prez, you were about to say something?
Yeah, I was gonna say, one thing with karate combat that I love in the culture, is everyone is celebrated for who they are. And that's my culture at Goat Shed. At Goat Shed, I have fighters from Venezuela. And when we walk out with them, I have the Venezuelan flag. We have the masks. We're doing all our stuff there. I have fighters that are Mexican. We put the sombrero on. We're going out with mariachi bands. Like, we allow everyone to be whoever they want to be. And we celebrate that. And for whatever reason, I get all the outcasts at my gym. Like most of my fighters couldn't fit in wherever else they went, but they fit in at my gym, and they love my gym. And most of them couldn't bond with the coach, and I'm the first coach they bonded with. Like, it's usually that's how it works. I don't know why, right? With karate combat, it's similar in that I love unique people. Like, I don't want that like standard, boring, just basic person. I love unique, strange individuals. I'm a strange individual. My beard points like I do this, like a goat over here, like Jafar. I try to look like Jafar, president. It's ridiculous. I love like fun, interesting, weird. I love saying weird because people say that's a bad thing. I don't care. I'm weird. I love being weird, and I think it's cool and unique, and that's what makes us really awesome. And Robin Black is a strange guy, and that's why he's so cool. And our announcer, who I love, the crazy pride lady, right?
That's been working. So amazing, bro. I absolutely love her. If you don't have her on more shows this year, man.
And it's kind of sad that some of the haters from the new gen fans, like, that's legendary. That's Bruce Buffer level legend in the game.
Yes.
Put respect on her name.
Dude, she's a beast. I got to meet her in person that first time she did the one in I didn't mean to cut you, but the one she did in Singapore, and I was like, she's amazing.
She's amazing. She's amazing. And like some people, the new school people, like Max said, they don't understand who she is. She's a big legend. Growing up, that was the voice I was used to. I was used to on commentating Bas Rutten. I was used to on announcing Lenny Hart. That was my childhood, and my father growing up in martial arts too. That was what
and now you're president of an organization that has both.
I crazy,
insane.
Dude. I never, until you just said it, I'm president of an organization with like my dream crew.
If we ever go to Japan, though, we gotta do the Pride opening with the giant taiko drum.
I remember that. I mean, okay. Remember the president? He wore the sumo wrestling thong, hitting the drum. Do you ever remember that?
Yeah.
He did that one. Maybe I do the same.
Oh, that would be fucking amazing. I would lose my shit if I seen you walk out for pre-production and you walk in with the sumo cup on. I'm gonna fall out. I'm gonna die laughing.
Oh my god, it'll be great. But you just, Mac, you just got me really. You brought me to tears almost right here because that's amazing, man. Yeah, this is such a dream. That was my childhood with those people. So crazy full circle, and GSP was my hero. I moved to, just so you guys know, when I was an active martial artist competing, I moved to TriStar Montreal because of GSP. And I lived in Montreal in the dorms of his gym for many years. I was back and forth. And then when he went to John Danner, I followed and I went to John Danner as well because I was a huge fan and really looked up to him. And my whole life was dictated around what GSP did. And it's crazy that I'm so close to that guy now, right? Like we're messaging each other on Thanksgiving. Like, how did that happen?
And
So-
now also you trained under Helio Gracie, and now with Pit Submission Series, you're evolving the sport of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
It's oh man, it's a blessing, man. Working with all you guys, all these great people, the support we have is crazy. I mean, honestly, man, what more can we ask? In 1 year, we're top 5 league on the planet. Like very quickly, we skyrocketed. Everyone respects us. The level of fighting is amazing. I mean, it's everything's good. Life is going very, very well. Can't ask.
Yeah.
One thing I have to ask though, because the most controversial member of the broadcast team is Mike, the voice of the casuals. What made you want to bring on the voice of the casuals? Because within the combat sports fan base, like some people love him, some people hate him, some people say he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. But that was kind of the idea, right?
Yeah, like most people, I think are kind of being mean to him, but I'll tell you what the logic behind it. So what happened was, and I really hope we got to clip this and send it to Campbell McLaren. So Campbell McLaren was, one of the guys that started the UFC. Okay,
Yeah.
and he's the owner of Combate Global. He's been in this space for 40 years into entertainment, combat sports. He was actually the manager of Larry David, for whoever's a Seinfeld fan. But he's a phenomenal guy, Campbell McLaren. I'm having lunch with him one day, and I'm sitting with him eating, and he's saying that he was part of hiring Joe Rogan, part of that decision. And he was telling me the reason why. And he was saying that, they were talking about, okay, the commentary has to be entertaining. Well, what's better than a comedian? Like a comedian, and now you got a comedian that also trained, so he's passionate about it. So they said, okay, like this would be very entertaining to have a guy that's learning the martial arts at that time, that's very funny and very entertaining. So they brought him on. It made a lot of sense. So I said, okay, what is something that's very entertaining and influential in today's time? I said, okay, it's a YouTuber. And then I started looking through YouTubers, and my wife is a big YouTuber, and she gave me a long list, and I met up with some friends, and we went through that list who made sense, and we came up with this idea with the voice of the casuals, where somebody that may not understand combat sports is commentating, and then you have an expert like Bas Rutten who can correct them or educate them. So maybe they're asking the questions that the casual fan is wondering, but maybe doesn't want to say. And now Bas Rutten can educate them. So that was the theory behind it. I know a lot of martial artists are upset, but they have to understand this is more for general population to get them to understand our sport.
Yeah, 100%.
Apollo, you should bring up that quote Fubar put in the comments.
Yeah. Fubar said, "There's no dead air. There's always something. There's always something entertainment. I learned more since Mike has been involved," which is somebody who watches Fubar. If you don't know, is one of the community managers, somebody very heavy in karate combat and working with the crypto Web3 and community side of things. Somebody who watches all the time. So it's a great voice that is in a credible opinion. Also, he said, "Working perfectly, boss." So he said, good job on that, man. And that's a great pickup. I love Mike Malak. Mike Malak, me and him had a conversation on the last one. Mike Malak means a lot more to me than a lot of other things. It's crazy that I met him. He's one of the reasons I started doing content because Mike was an older guy doing content, and he was working with these young boys, and they were always calling him older. And I may look young, but me and Prez are the same age, literally. Like, we are literally the same exact age.
I had no idea.
No,
Yeah,
awesome.
we're the same age.
Yeah, because
I was born in 91.
Also realize that President Awesome, for being a president of a combat sports organization, is very young.
Yes, very young is very young.
Yes.
Kind of like Dana White too. Dana White was pretty young when he got tossed to UFC as well. So it's a similar situation.
Dana Brown.
Dana White.
Thank you.
It's all correlating. You know what I mean? It's all correlating. But yeah, man, Mike's a great addition, and I feel like all of the picks that you guys made are great. Like Josh is another one. Who I feel like is a little appreciated. Josh is an amazing commentator. He has so much knowledge. I've talked to him for hours about combat sports. He's really knowledgeable in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's really knowledgeable in striking. He's really knowledgeable in everything. The man is an architectural engineer building one of the biggest buildings in Philadelphia right now. This man is super intelligent, and added with Bas Rutten, who's just like, come on, like if you know MMA, you know who this guy is. You know how great he is.
Just 1 second, Paulo, just to add on to that.
Yeah.
As someone that's been watching karate combat since the very first pilot event The one thing they struggled with was commentators, because Boss was always excellent, but they needed someone to play off with him.
Yeah.
Phoenix Carnivale was pretty good, and I think they got the guy that did it with Pride, which was pretty good, but it still didn't fit the theme. Josh Palmer became that like perfect pairing for Boss and for Karate Combat.
100%. I agree with that.
I agree. I love Josh Palmer. He's phenomenal and definitely needed in every show, right? Guys, look, I am going to walk you through here. I've been working very hard to better represent my fight team and to better represent Karate Combat. So my goal is basically I want to be The Rock. Like, that's what I'm trying to do right now. So this is my new home right here. You see this?
Hey, let's
There we
go. The new gym.
Okay.
Let's
I'm about to
go.
get jacked right now with this guy right here. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So,
Get my man right.
Out in Miami, you know, and this is where I go 3 times a week with my fighters. We deadlifted 500 pounds, baby. And I'm gonna get up to 240 looking like The Rock. And if any combat sports president wants to come at me, we could do it. We could run it.
Yo, Chatri, run it. Chatri, stop acting scary, bro. We want to see that happen. But look, I'm gonna let you go. I want to ask one more thing. You amazing year. I want to say that we're about to end off with this December card. It'll be a year anniversary. I want to say you did an amazing job. To keep doing an amazing job. But you had such a great year, right? You had so many great events. You did so many good things. How the hell are you going to top yourself next year? I need to know, how are you going into this mindset of next year to be able to replicate or do better than what you did last year?
So that's interesting. That's a very good question. Maybe I should even talk about that a little more. The goal of year one with this new administration right here was to go on a world tour. And in that world tour, we want to find the greatest strikers on the planet from each region. So from the United States, out in Europe, Eastern Europe, go over to Asia, start recruiting the guys in Asia. We got guys in Thailand, in Mexico, Latin America. Once we found the top strikers on the planet and modified the roster a little bit, added more fighters on the roster, now it's starting to make household names. We want guys like Shazib already did it, like Owen Chummy is becoming a household name and is a household name. Arturo Vergara is really coming up, which I never expected, to be honest. He's really holding his own. So I need to build the names now. Now that I found the talent, it's time to show the world what these guys can do and how great they are. So that's what it's about year two, really showing the special roster we have.
Yeah, that's an amazing thing, man. I believe in you. I know you guys. I told you guys all the time, every KC card is a mission impossible, but KC's got a team full of Tom Cruises and we get shit done. So that's just how it goes. Friends, we always like to let our guests in the conversation off whatever they want to say. If they want to speak their piece on anything, they want to speak to the fans, whatever you want. These last minute, whatever you want, this is all you. You get to speak on whatever you want to right now. The floor is yours, brother.
I'll just leave it with this. You know, one thing with combat sports that we're really trying to do, we're trying to push, you know, the fighters out there and really trying to clean up the business. That's become a big mission of mine over here. What I'd like to say is with all the fans out there, really support these fighters in and out of the arena, you know, because there's a lot of things happen behind the scenes with all their sacrifices and struggles. And sometimes those are unseen. You know, we watch them compete and we're happy at their performances, but we don't really pay attention to what's happening behind the scenes. And I think that needs to change in combat sports. And it's going to start right here with Karate Combat. So that's what we got.
Could I ask one last thing before we go?
Sure.
Could you give us a quick promo for why everybody should be watching Karate Combat 51?
Okay. Karate Combat is the first ever striking league that allows you to strike in every position. It's the ultimate striking league. Think about it. You are the most complete striker on the planet if you're Karate Combat World Champion, because every league in the world, every striking league in the world is incomplete in some way. With boxing, it's only the hands. With kickboxing, it's only punches and kicks. With Muay Thai, okay, we got elbows, kicks, punches, knees, and some sweeps. But with Karate Combat, we got the ground and pound. We got the standing strikes, the clinch strikes. It's a complete striking game. It's the only game in the world where you can strike in any position. And truly, if you want to be considered the greatest striker on the planet, it must be at Karate Combat.
Man, I couldn't have said that shit better myself, man. I also want to say, I remember I realized in your commercial with Fight God on the last one, where you were talking about the crypto stuff and you messed up. I said, see how hard it is? I pointed at the screen. I'm like, you see how hard it is, motherfuckers? It shit ain't easy. But then I see you guys made it a skit. And I was like, oh, damn, I didn't got all hyped for nothing. You probably would have killed it. But man, listen, Prez, we love you, man. We appreciate you. Everything you do for Karate Combat. Big ups to you and your team. Everything you're doing outside of Karate Combat. You're doing a lot of good stuff. We can't wait to see what's going on next year. I'll see you in a week or so or whatever. But this can't be the last time we have you on the show. We definitely got to get you on more often because this is what we brought this to, right? This is a weekly show heavily focused on Karate Combat to keep the news going, to keep the fans updated on what's going on, and also do what you said is put these fighters out more so that people can fall in love with them and create these storylines and help them and support them. So we appreciate you for your time. I want you to get your swole on. You got to get it there. We got to get you out with the Rock or something. I don't know. Boss Rutan knows him. Maybe we could make it happen. But like I said, I appreciate you, brother. And I hope you have an amazing day. And I hope you had a great holiday. We didn't even talk about that. But tell the family I said hello, especially Mama. Tell her I said hello. Tell her I miss her. I'll see her soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys. Happy holidays.
Happy
holidays, Prez. See you later. All right, man. That was President. Awesome, baby. That's one of the biggest interviews we had so far, man. We had the president of Karate Combat. Come on, baby.
A lot of things you can clip there too.
Yeah, a lot of things. That's why I love talking to him. Well, one thing is he's so fucking good at social media. Man, this man is amazing. That's one thing I can say is his social media game and people, and it's an acquired taste. It's the same thing with Robin Black. He gets people who absolutely love it and he gets people who absolutely hates it. And it is what it is. But the thing what I understand and learned about being a personality, being somebody in combat sports, being a journalist, being whatever, right? You got to find your audience. The people who don't like you ain't your audience. Don't fucking worry about them. Keep it pushing, buddy. They don't matter because they're not there for you. They're not there to support you. They're not going to help you. They're not going to do anything. So for you to worry about something that has no potential positive side for you is actually crazy. Just worry about the people who are saying it. Skip past those comments. Laugh if it's funny. Keep it pushing. Even clap back if you want to, but there's really no need. And he does a great job at that. And he's going to do a great job. I love the way he answered the way they're going into 2026 or 2025. That was a beautiful answer because, I mean, it is a tough job to top what you've already done if you've done so much, right? So I'm glad he came on, man. It was a great conversation. I do want to talk about this last thing before we go because I know you probably have something to say on this. Pinto wants to fight in Karate Combat. If you don't know, Pinto is Antoine Pinto, or it's Antoine, right? Not Antonio. It's Antoine.
I'm not familiar with the pronunciation.
Okay. Well, Antoine, or I want to say it's Antoine because he's French, which Antoine would sound more French. So Antoine Pinto wants to fight in Karate Combat. Very decorated fighter. He's been all over the place. He's the voice for RWS, which that R word I can't say if Mac Tyson wants to say it. He is their host and was their host and one of their on-air talents. And actually worked with us in Thailand at the Bangkok event, because none of our actual production crew, our broadcast crew, went out there. Not me, Mike, Josh, nobody. So he was the one holding it down for us and did a fucking amazing job. He did a great job. He speaks Thai. He speaks English. He was translating interviews in live real time. He was like Google Translate and Joe Rogan wrapped in one. The motherfucker's a beast, but also a great fighter and wants to fight in Karate Combat to kind of end off his career, right? We're seeing this happen a lot where fighters want to come in, kind of solidify their legacy in Karate Combat, right? You got Cris Cyborg, you had Luke Rockhold, the Pedersen Henderson fight, right? And then off that trilogy, a lot of people are sealing the
Uriah
envelope.
Hall wants to come.
Yeah, Uriah Hall wants to fight Karate Combat. He wants to fight Darren Till. So you have a lot of people sealing the envelope on their legacies by using Karate Combat. And it's super dope, bro. Super dope, man. Mac, when do you think we'll get Pinto? Do you think it's going to be the next Asian event? And how hype are you for this? And for him to make a return too, because he hasn't fought in a while.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a very interesting fight. With Antoine Pinto, I actually apologize. I wasn't too familiar with his career. I had heard of him, but I hadn't followed him too much. But he's a phenomenal striker, and I'd love to see him in the pit. real question is, who do you put him up against? I'm not too sure what would be that like big fight to see.
Yeah, I guess it's all like based on what weight class he would decide to fight in, because normally, once you start getting older, you start to gain that the grown man weight,
Yeah.
right? Or grown woman weight, whatever you want to call it. Like, because the women, they gain weight too.
Yeah, Sam Alvey was 185
and UFC. Yeah, and he's a good 220 walking around now easily. He's hitting 205 for these events, but Sam Alvey's a big boy, man. I've been around multiple times. I went out, actually got pizza with him and Justin. What's his name? Dangerly or whatever. The Justin guy that does the videos where he like does something. He just pops in like, "Hey," and he's like says some weird shit or whatever. I can't remember his name. It's Justin something. But I went out to eat with him. I was just looking at Sam like, this motherfucker's massive. This guy's huge. But yeah, I guess it depends all on like what weight class does Pinto want to fight at, right? From here it says 77 kgs is where he was fighting at. Which I'm not familiar on the kgs. Hey, my Canadians in the chat, how much is 77 kgs in pounds? I know we got Canadians in there. I think we got a few actually. And shout out everybody in the chat. I know you guys were chatting earlier. Like during the interviews, I try to keep it based on it, unless it's a specific question per president.
I basically try to relate it to the karate combat weight classes. Like, I believe bantamweight is 61 kgs, lightweight is 63. 74 is we got one saying 170 pounds.
Okay, 170 pounds. Thanks, Preem. I appreciate that, Preem. So yeah. So I mean, this guy's he was fighting at Lupini at 14. He was the youngest foreigner to fight in Lupini at the age of 14 in 2025. So you're looking at another person that we were talking about, like the other Muay Thai guys, right? Huh?
Fubar, you gave that answer too slow. You already were beat.
Come on, man. Bad Canadian, Fubar. You're a terrible Canadian, man. Imagine. Nah, what's terrible is the Americans who don't know the system. Because
what's weird about Canadians is that like they can't decide whether they want to use the American units or the British units because they like to mix and match.
Yeah. So
the Canadian identity is not being British and not being American.
Yo, this guy, man. Look at this guy, man. Just handsome. Why do you want to fight, man? He also is an actor. He does a lot of stuff, bro. He's an actor. He's been in a few TV dramas.
I mean, if you ever been a fighter and you go to a karate combat event, wouldn't you want to fight in that pit?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Every time I think about it, and then I go, nah. Every time I'm like,
the IFC just needs to give you a good number. That's all I'm saying.
They got to give me a good number. If they do, but I don't know, dude. But I do want to see him fight. I mean, like I said, he's been training. I think since he was 11 is when he first started training, and I mean, dude was competing in Lupini at 14, youngest to ever fight at Raja Durnarm. He was the youngest to fight there at age 15. So, like, this guy is literally Muay Thai history. He's literally somebody who's in TVs, a celebrity, a superstar. This could be an amazing exposure for both parties, right? Exposure to Pinto to the other side of the world, the Western side of the world that he might not have been able to tap into as much. And also an opportunity for Karate Combat to tap into his fan base, right? Because I don't care if they don't never watch them fight. If you never watch them fight, but then you started watching them on dramas and he goes back and fights, you're going to go watch the fights. Like, it's just simple. So I think it's a beautiful thing. I think it's also just it also just puts to the rhetoric of what's been happening with these fighters like who are retired coming to Karate Combat and getting that, like you said, that feeling of, yeah, I got to get in this pit, right? We seen Bakal the way he was looking. We're more than likely going to get that fight. We've seen the way Cris Cyborg was looking, right? And we've seen a lot of people go there and be like, shit, I want to fight there. Shit. what's the name? Just called Rampage just called out shit. He called out fuck, who was it? I forgot who it was, man. It was Jake or Logan, one of them. I just posted it too. But at the end of the day, it's creating this rhetoric where people.
Rampage called out one of the Paul brothers.
Yeah, I think so. I just posted this shit the other day. Dude, there's been so much going on. My brain is like fucking fried. Yeah. Rampage Jackson calls out Jake Paul and says he will fight for free. Yeah, here I'll show you real quick. Yeah, and actually, I guess we can hit on this real quick before we go too. Here we go. Boom. So right here, yeah. Let's actually do. I think this one might look better, and then move this over here. All right, there we go. Yeah, that's much better. Yo, so here's what Rampage said. Yo, Jake Paul, watch your mouth. How you talk to MMA royalty. I'll fight you in MMA, no weight class for no pay. That's a great deal, but I bet you won't. Stop disrespecting people. Stop disrespecting people in my fucking sport, homie. And we got to help him out with the spelling, though. You fighting Tyson was your last straw. Go back to boxing wrestlers, right? There's Rampage coming at him, and I ain't gonna lie, we could see this fighting karate combat happen. I ain't gonna lie, Jake Paul gonna want too much fucking money, and we ain't paying him that. I'm pretty sure, like, he wants, like, I think he gets, like, I want to say 50 plus a fight. I don't know what the Tyson one was, but I don't want to tangent too much. But basically saying, like, people come to karate combat, they want to freaking fight. I think Pinto had the same thing. I mean, he literally interviewed every fighter after they won. I mean, feeling is palpable, right? That's something that you could be like, oh, I can feel the way they're feeling right now. And I want that feeling, right? I want to get back in there. I want to get back to my flame, right? And I want to see it happen, bro. And I think Pinto will do a great job. That question is, who would he fight? I think that's something maybe we got to do our homework on, right, Ty Mac, and maybe come back next week. Let's come back next week and we'll kind of go through, and that's what we'll do. That's our homework for next week. Our homework for next week, and in the chat too, if y'all want to do it too, I would love to see yours. What are the top 3 fights you think Pinto should take in karate combat? And the person could be in karate combat or a free agent or somebody that we could bring to karate combat. I do want to see who's going to do it. And the people who do bring a list of 3 next week, I may have something special for you. But that's going to be dope. But yeah, I want to see Antoine. Go ahead.
Just to talk before we end it, though, we did talk about like how President Asim wants to bring Bull Kala into 2025. That's one of his goals. And I love the Rafael Gaev fight if that could happen. But there is someone that actually called out Bull Kala that's on the roster that I want to give attention to, and that was Weber Almeida.
Yeah, I did see that, and I ain't gonna lie, bro. This back, he's a fucking. Oh my god, he's such a demon in that.
That'd be a great fight.
It would be a great fight. I mean, it would literally, and that's another great karate versus Muay Thai fight because you have Bukaw, Muay Thai pedigree. Like if you look up Muay Thai, Bukaw, right there, it's him, right? So you got him, and then you have somebody coming from one of the greatest karate dojos and lineages in the world right now with Lyoto Machida, right? And being part of the Machida clan. So yeah, Netflix paid Jake Paul $40 million. That's crazy. So
speaking about Machida's, Shinzo Machida is interested in my proposed matchup of him versus Lordzilla. He's willing.
Yeah. So what happened? Why hasn't Shinzo been fighting? Because Shinzo fought in what, Playa de Carmen, I think it was, or something.
I mean, he's old and he basically retired. But
yeah. Oh no, who was fought from the Machida clan in Playa de Carmen? Was that only Weber?
That was Weber.
It was only Weber there.
Yeah, the only other one that has fought in karate combat from the Machida clan was Bruno Souza, but Bruno left karate combat to focus on MMA.
Yeah, I love Bruno Souza too. I think that was a good decision for him. He is very well rounded, and I feel like he might do quite a bit better there.
He was 4-4 in karate combat.
Yeah, in karate combat, and that's strictly striking. He's not able to utilize the stuff that he's also good at, which is his ground game. So, yeah, man, very interesting, man. I love to see it. I mean, people come to the fights, they want to fight. People commentate the fights, they want to fight. People come and host the post-fight interviews, now they want to fight. I love it. It just shows you the karate combat effect is there.
Why do so many IFC fighters want to fight in the big leagues, though? Like, that's been
dude,
weird.
I ask them all the time, bro.
They're all calling out wanting to fight in the pro leagues. Like,
yeah.
Do they know how high level karate combat is?
They don't know, bro. They don't know. But hey, listen, they find out really quickly. A lot of the times, some of them find out really quickly how high level it is and how many people are watching. And sometimes it hits, but You know, get in there and do it. I'm not saying I'm pussy and I won't do it. It's just not, to me, it's not worth it. Like, a lot of people don't realize you could possibly unalive yourself in there. Things could happen.
It's in the bout agreement that that the league is not in every bout agreement in any sport, combat sport.
Any combat sport, from boxing all around the board. If you die in the ring, we're
not responsible.
They're not responsible at all. So with that being on the board, I have to think about it. Like, if this isn't enough to bury me, then I'm gonna make. Then I don't want to fight, right? And I haven't.
If it's not going to cover the funeral costs,
yeah, if it's not going to cover the funeral costs, I don't want it. Or me getting injured in the fight, right? And I don't have health insurance. I am a content creator. Where the fuck am I getting an insurance plan from? You know what I mean? I don't have a job.
That's the nice thing about karate combat, because like I don't want to actually. No, I don't want to say this for real, but I'm pretty sure they cover in-fight injury in the combat.
Yeah, so I want to say it's. I know they do. IFC is a little different. It's a little different. I kind of experienced a little bit, and I don't want to go too deep into their like personal shit, right?
Yeah.
I experienced it a bit with Ellie when she got injured on her card. And when she went to go get her ACL surgery, I was in Vegas at the time, and Ellie came from Canada down to Vegas to Keith Berry and Pisons to the house out there to like rehab with us, right? To kind of help her. She got people around her to help her kind of move around and do everything. And I was kind of there for like the back and forth between her and IFC and stuff like that. And they are taken care of on that side. So I can only imagine how much they're taken care of on the KC side of things. But if you get your head kicked in your neck snap, I'm pretty sure they're going to help you pay for the funeral in karate combat, but you know what I mean? Or it would be the right thing to do. But me, I want to go in knowing my family is secure if anything happens to me. I have a daughter, I have a girl. Both of them depend on me to bring a certain amount of money home a month and to make sure we got these lights on and all this shit is working. If that Wi-Fi ain't on, that little girl there is whipping my ass. All right. She want to play Fortnite. So I got to provide. Right. And if the money ain't there, I just can't do it. Right. So
why do I feel
one
like
day it's never off the table. Yeah. Huh?
Why do I feel like your daughter can whoop you in Fortnite?
She probably can now. When I first put her on it, no, but that's all she plays. So if she can't beat me, and I would actually kind of be upset that she's put this much time into it and couldn't beat me, and I would call her all the losers in the world. Like, I'm one of those dads. I'm like, you get good, kid. I don't give a shit. You're not getting no easy wins, no free nothing off me. You're gonna get good or you're gonna be bad. It's just simple as that. That's life.
These are the dads that grew up on video games. Like, we're not giving you no freebies.
Fuck you, my uncles ain't give me no free licks. We playing Mortal Kombat, they whipping my ass. I'm talking Luke Kane just the whole fucking fight. I can't even get out the corner. What the fuck I'm giving you some leeway for? Hell no, you gotta go through the same shit I went through. I'm a good gamer because good gamers whip my ass into being a good gamer. And that's how you're gonna be a good gamer. That's how shit go around here. So, but 100%. Like I said, never off the table.
Are you ever going to do that challenge by Mac Malley for Madden 2K?
Oh, yeah. Oh, was it 2K or Madden? I want to do Madden. I want me and him to do a Madden game. We can do 2K. I had to buy 2K. I got Madden and NCAA. I got Madden, NCAA, and MLB, and UFC. And I know he has all four of those. So to be honest, Mac Malley, however you want to do this, we could do the combat sports journalist Olympics real quick. We can run UFC, then we can run MLB, which you might win both of those, and we run Madden, which I definitely probably get you there, and then we can run NCAA. And if we is still a tie there, then we could box and karate combat. All right, let's do it. I was playing about the boxing part. Nah, I would never.
Mac Malley's, I think, out of your weight class.
Yeah. What kind of? He's stockier than me, but we're about the same size. Like, he's definitely got more weight on him. I'm definitely a stick compared to him. But
could you make middleweight?
Middleweight. That's 170. 85? Oh, fuck no. I don't think I've ever been 185 in my life.
I think Mac Malley said that if he fought, he'd be fighting at 185. So.
Okay, yeah, nah. If I fought, I would probably try to fight 35, to be real with you. I'm probably about 50 right now. Probably about 150, 155 right now. Yeah, thinking that Thanksgiving was yesterday, I may be 155. So I would probably fight at like 145, 135, like somewhere in that area. Probably 45, 35 might be a tough cut for me. I used to cut.
You're on like Jesus Lopez walking weight.
Yeah, I used to cut I used to cut. It was crazy. Is when I first started boxing, I boxed at 95 pounds. That's how small I was. I went from 95, 105, 115. But yeah, I used to do a lot of weight cuts for those. Like when I went down to 95, it's just easier. It's just easier. It was easier for you to get up the Golden Gloves ladder at 95 than it was at like the beginning of the hundreds. So I was just like, all right, well, I had to cut an extra 5-10 pounds. Like, is what it is. You know what I'm saying? A lot of our fights are really spaced out. So my coach is just on me about maintaining a good weight to cut from, right? So I could get down, and I understand because I've done this shit before. Like, I know how to cut weight. I've taken those trips all the way up to Virginia, 3 hours, spitting in the damn big ass 2 liter the entire time. By the time you get there, it's halfway full of fucking spit. Like, I've been there. I've been in them saunas. I've been running on them treadmills with the suits. So I can get it down if I need to, but fighting at that is just too high.
See, when I was training boxing, I had the great privilege of sparring the heavyweights, cruiserweights, and light heavyweights.
Yeah, that's what me. I had nobody in my weight class. The closest weight class to me at 95 was 135. And he was a massive little Mike Tyson motherfucker. He used to beat the shit out of me. I hated that shit, right? I used to get fucked up. The guy who brought me in was my sister's boyfriend, Stefan, at the time. And he was like 17. He was about 45er. He was kind of taller, so he's like a 45er. Mondrez was a 35er, but he was built like Tyson. Gervonta Davis kind of built, just like really stocky, really big, a lot of power. His brother,
those stocky motherfuckers, they hit hard.
His brother was like 19. I used to spar with him. He was a 145er as well with Stefan. And then we had 2 guys that were like in their late 20s, and they were like, one was a 65er and one was a 55er. And I used to have to go at that with them too. So like I was used to that shit. But yeah, like I said, not off the table, right offer. We could pay for the funeral. Maybe we could talk, baby. I don't know. Like, I'm not saying I want to fucking die, but I just want to make sure I make a good amount. Fuck, I don't care. But yeah, man, not right now. I like commentating IFC for the moment, man. It's cool to see my friends fight and to be able to commentate it and to see the best view, because a lot of times, even though I be pits out of karate combat, be motherfuckers in my way. If I step away for 1 second, somebody takes my spot. So to be able to sit down and watch it, don't worry about it.
How tall are you?
5'11". I'm 5'11", so I could see over most people, but it's always the tall motherfucker who's in front of you. Like my first event, Frank Mir was in front of me. I was like, great. What the fuck am I gonna see with this big back tall motherfucker in front of me? Like nothing. Frank Mir.
I know. I feel bad for anyone that was behind Alex Pereira, and
Dude.
like imagine trying to ask Alex Pereira if he could move a little bit to the left.
Hey brother, can you move a little bit to the drama? He just turns to you, drama. Just turns back like I'm not moving shit, bro. But we're gonna get to Hayden next week. They did sign a new karate combat fighter, Hayden Eynad. I want to say that's how you say his name. It's Eynaud. We all know I'm terrible at pronouncing foreign names. So basically, like 12 years old when it comes to pronouncing foreign names.
Is that the new Polish Muay Thai fighter?
No, he's Australian. That's the Australian guy. Yeah, they said he's the best import. He's the best export of Australian goods since Foster's. So let's hope he's good, because I kind of like Foster's beer. Foster's beer is pretty good. It's a good Australian beer. So hopefully he is that great. We'll talk about it more next time. We'll do a little film session. We'll do a little film session, and we'll also kind of break down his background for you guys so you guys understand. And then we'll get the other guy that you're talking about. Let's also
got to talk about the matchup that was announced: Cosmo Alexander versus Igor de Castaneda.
Oh, so they got him versus Castaneda?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a
Did you miss this one? Did you miss this one?
Yeah, I didn't. It was probably yesterday or something. The last 2 days, I just been family, kind of like. I had Madden draft. We had Madden at the end of the season in our franchise. So we are all wrapping up the end of the season. We all had to get draft picks and all that stuff ready. And at the same time, while I'm commissioner for that, I got all of the holiday shit coming on. And then there's a bunch of dudes in my shit, which, dudes during Thanksgiving barely do shit. So all of them was on the fucking game. So I'm at my aunt's house advancing the weeks for them from my gaming laptop. So I haven't had time.
We'll break it down next week, but
yeah.
Spoiler alert, someone's getting knocked the fuck out in that matchup.
That's the shit I like. But I ain't gonna lie, man. That's episode fucking 14, bro. We've been doing 14 weeks of this. Actually, we've been doing a little bit longer than that. We took about a week or 2 off due to certain stuff. But man, we've been killing it, bro. 14 weeks of consistency. I just want to say thank you to the YouTube. We cracked over 100 followers last week, and we've only been up for like maybe 2 months at this point. I think we're like a little over a month. And I think last time I checked, it was 125. Let me check now to see where we at with it. And shout out to Brave, our sponsor. We're at 140. Let's go. Stop playing with us, man. We growing, baby. We growing. Let's glowing. Shout out our sponsors, Karate Combat and Brave Browser. As you can see during the stream, we have the QR codes up. If you don't have Brave Browser, please download it now, man. It's private. It's safe. They don't have ads. You don't have to watch ads on YouTube. You can also get rewarded by turning on friendly ads, basically ads that are sent by them that aren't malicious, right? That aren't intrusive ads, and they'll pay you crypto in it. If you don't like that, don't do it. Just use it so you don't have to use YouTube ads. If you want a VPN, they have a built-in VPN to their thing. It's one of the best, most secure internet browsers out right now. So if you don't have Brave Browser, please download it now. And I promise you guys, I'm not lying to you. If I'm lying, I'm fucking flying. Because let me show you something right now. I'm going to show you my entire screen right here. And if you look at the bottom, I know cap, bro. You see 2 Brave browsers down here, bro. I literally am a fan of this, and I literally only wanted to work with them as a browser, as our browser sponsor, because I use their product and I know it's good. I know for a fact it's good.
And as even Fubar said in a chat once, it's honestly the best browser to watch Karate Combat with, because sometimes the ads play during the YouTube stream. I once missed a knockout because of that. Don't miss the knockout. Download Brave so that you can watch it on there.
There you go, man. And listen, if you have Brave Browser and you are coming to the show, if you came to the show due to the notifications that they're putting out, we appreciate you. We love you guys. Welcome to the family. We do this once a week, every Friday at 12 p.m. Sometimes we have MMA pickers here. Most of the time we have MMA pickers here as well. Sometimes we have other guests, but it's really me, Mac Tyson, and MMA pickers. Please follow my co-host, Mac Tyson, on Twitter and Instagram. It is Mac Tyson Karate, exactly spelled how his name is right there. We appreciate y'all, man. Mac, also appreciate you for your time every week, bro. It's amazing to have you on the show. You're a great voice. You're a good speaker for the karate and Karate Combat and just combat sports community in general. And I'm glad that I can help your voice be heard more on a weekly basis. But we love you guys. We'll see you next week. Next week should be a good one. We're working on some good interviews. We might have a girl on. Who knows? Let's see what Mac can do. Mac's working his magic in the background. We'll see if we can get a lady on. I don't think we've had any women on the show yet. She could be the first. All right, well, guess what? On next week of The Warrior's Voice, you'll find out. But we got to go, baby. We love you guys, man. Deuces. We are out of here, man. See y'all next week. Bye-bye. Oos.
Burn it up, turn it around. Chains feel the surge. Rebel hearts on the verge.
Body kick again.
Rebel